first, I'm very intimidated, but also very pleased to have been asked to be a part of this seminar, because it's a conversation about a subject that has been a matter of passion for me for 30 years. I'll have to admit that passion has been mostly frustration. But these are things that I've noticed and things that I've wanted to talk about for many, many years. The broad subject is the relationship between religious faith and science. The passion for me has been stirred as a clergy person, specifically of American Christian faith, which is its own thing.
Yes.
Because kind of the presumptive version of that faith, or the most publicly recognized version of American Christian faith, has often related to science as a threat. You think about there's a litany I can do, from Manifest Destiny to the Trail of Tears to slavery, Scopes monkey trial, to women's rights, voting rights, civil rights, reproductive rights, questions of human sexuality, to immigration, to health care, to public education, to name it, to climate change.
Yeah.
There's the conspicuous influence of American Christian faith has been to negate scientific evidence, which in many cases would have led to better outcomes. And we see that in hindsight. It would be nice to see that in foresight, and to mitigate some of the harm. I'm not a spokesperson for all religious faith, but as an ordained Christian minister, I'm very clear about the enormous influence of American Christian faith in the denial and the negation of scientific evidence regarding climate change. And I'm clear also as an ordained minister that because of that, it's critical that people like me, Christian faith leaders, come to the table. We've got to talk to ourselves, for one thing. Larry Rasmussen, who before retiring was the Reinhold Niebuhr Professor of Social Ethics at Union Theological Seminary in New York City. He's an environmental ethicist and kind of a founding father of the field of eco-theology. A lot of people are surprised there is even such a field. There is. He writes this: "The planet that we call home is presently undergoing a transformational moment akin to those ages that come to pass as episodes of geological time. But this one is different, at least for humans, since the human species is not only around for this episode, but it is among its causes, its reason for geophysical change. That sweet spot of sufficient planetary stability, which has hosted all the human civilizations ever known, the late Holocene, is moving so far out of phase that the planet we were all born on and have grown accustomed to is suddenly in a tough new place that asks in rude ways for a different way of life than the industrialized one we delivered but cannot sustain. We awake to a surprise then. We are far too many, and many of us are far too rich, with far too much stuff and the wrong kind of economy for the planet to bear on our terms. Ironically, the strange partnership of scientists and theologians may be precisely what's now required to speak both the language of evidence and the language of faith to the greed and to the fears that are no longer protecting us, but they are jeopardizing our very existence. One positive outcome of the kind of ongoing cultural wars has been that more progressive voices of faith are now in the public spotlight, and that's a good thing. So a different message is beginning to get out there, and people are beginning to learn that that faith perspective that has prevailed for so long is not, in fact, the only one there is, and that's a good thing. And I hope events like this will help more of us get to the start line more quickly and get to the start line together. I'm really happy to be here, and thank you for the invitation.